US town Roswell has a spaceship that resembles a flying saucer. Every day, thousands of people pass it by, and some even enter it. It's on North Main Street in this city in southern New Mexico. On a sunny day, its metal skin shines in the sunlight. It's hard not to appreciate its neon glow, which shines into the eyes of people who see it throughout the night. After all, who doesn't want a burger every now and then? That's right, this spaceship is a McDonald's restaurant in the city. So, why is the restaurant shaped like that? Does it have anything to do with the UFOs? The UFO crash at Roswell served as an inspiration for the design of the restaurant. In the history of UFO events, it has been one of the most mysterious cases and has been the subject of the most detailed and heated discussion. But still, it is also among those that have lasted the longest and have not been solved. It is not due to a lack of digging that has been done. Many journalists, writers, documentary film crews and others who are interested in the event have dug up many objects and pieces of information for the people, but no conclusive evidence has been presented that can solve the mystery of Roswell. On June the 24th, 1947, US pilot Kenneth Arnold of the 509th Bomb Group was searching for a downed military aircraft in Washington State's Cascade Mountains when the Roswell spotted 9 crescent-shaped objects flying low at a height of around 3 kilometers, flying at 1,900 kilometers per hour, and its movement was like a saucer skipping over water. The story was picked up by the media, who popularized the word flying saucer, and a new mystery was born. Although this was not the first sighting of what we now refer to as a UFO, it was the first one that got the public attention and made headlines. More reports came in, giving support to the idea that these encounters were not uncommon, but had, until now, been kept under wraps by somebody. But the secret got out when a local rancher called the sheriff to report some unusual debris on his ranch. He had the debris for quite a few days, but did not report it until he started hearing reports of flying saucers. He contacted the police because he suspected that something might have crashed during the recent storm. He had taken some bits of the wreckage with him, and when the sheriff notified the nearby army base, intelligence officer Jesse Marshall went to the crash site with Brazel and took remaining debris from the ranch to General Roger Ramney's headquarters in Fort Worth. Walter Holt, who was the public information officer for the army base, worked with a journalist from the area to publish a Newswire article about the event. In the article, Walter Holt quoted a flying disc was found on the property. The news shocked people all over the world, but the most famous thing about it is the headline on the front page of the Roswell Daily Record: RAAF captures flying saucer on ranch in Roswell region. Within 24 hours, a surprising development occurred. The military took a 180-degree turn and said that a mistake had been made and that the so-called flying saucer was a downed weather balloon. To make their statements believable, the army released photos of Ramey, Marcel and other members of the military holding different bits of the wreckage. They said it was a tin foil, and by looking at the picture, no one could disagree. But the black and white pictures at that time could not convince all of the people. In this day and age, with news cycles that run around the clock, the internet, social media and an activist community of UFO researchers, a claim like that, followed by a turnabout like that, would, without a doubt, give rise to a wide range of conspiracy theories. Many people began to wonder about the truth, as the 509th Bomb Group was the only squadron capable of carrying out an atomic bombing strike in the world at that time. So it's hard to say that these top professionals mistook the wreckage for a weather balloon. Nevertheless, in post-war America, people trusted authorities more and were less skeptical of alternative explanations like weather balloons. While the public's fascination with flying saucers and UFOs grew, Roswell faded away from the headlines. However, with the help of a nuclear physicist, Roswell was reborn. Stanton Friedman, a nuclear physicist turned ufologist, was tipped off in 1978 that a former military officer named Jesse Marshall had an exciting story to share. Marshall told Friedman that the story about the weather balloon in the news was just a cover story and that the photos were fake. The real photos of spaceships were replaced with pieces of the weather balloon, and everyone participating in the recovery was sure the wreckage was of an alien spaceship. To confirm Marshall's allegation, the physicists searched for people and witnesses who were there in Roswell at that time to put together exactly what had transpired. Some details of the story of the crashed spaceship were provided by retired military soldiers who had been stationed at Roswell, but skeptics said that they were giving the researchers what they wanted to hear to get attention. In any case, books were published, documentaries, drama series and a movie were filmed, and the concept of the UFO crash became so embedded in pop culture that even those people who had no interest or belief in UFOs probably heard about Roswell in music events or on the news. By this point, the lines between truth and fiction were blurring, and the story was absorbing other UFO theories. According to some reports, the debris was transferred to Area 51, where they tried to reverse engineer the extraterrestrial ship. Storylines like this would later appear in films like Independence Day and the television series The X-Files. In 1995, a video surfaced showing an alien autopsy, which is tied to the Roswell incident. Of course, the video was a hoax, but it made worldwide headlines, and the fictitious video was later used in a comedy movie. It was at least put to good use. During the 1990s, the US government conducted their investigation on the Roswell crash and issued 2 reports, the first in 1994 and the second in 1997. As you could imagine, they said it was a weather balloon, but this time they added that the balloon was carrying equipment meant to examine the atmosphere for signs of Soviet nuclear testing as part of Project Mogul. It could be because of the controversial nature of the surveillance operation that they needed to cover up the incident. It's even plausible that the flying disc story was a local effort aimed to divert media attention away from the big problem of Russians, with higher leadership later overruling the plan and claiming it was a weather balloon. Now fast forward to the present. UFOs have gradually moved from the edge to the mainstream in recent years, at least in the United States, with the New York Times reporting 2 stories in December 2017. First, that the US Navy hid the video of UFOs, and second, about the Advanced Aerospace Threat Identification Program, or ATIP. Although the Pentagon spokesperson clarified that the program was initiated to investigate UFO existence, but the true purpose of ATIP is still unknown. This is important because the US government used to say that the government stopped investigating UFOs and the extraterrestrial at the end of 1969 when an old Air Force program called Project Blue Book was shut down. But New York Times reported that the US government is still investigating them. That is why in the summer of 2021, the Office of the Director of National Intelligence issued an inconclusive preliminary report, saying that many of the sightings remain a mystery to them. Also, UFO-related clauses were added to the defense bill, mandating the Department of Defense, the military, and the intelligence community to work together to solve the mystery. Even Congress wants to know if these unidentified objects are Russian or Chinese drones, or if something else is at work. The US is dropping nothing off the table, and this has sparked an unexpected hysteria among members of the UFO community, especially when it comes to one of history's biggest mysteries. The Roswell community will forever be tied to its covered-up past.